What's up? Um, so I know I'm probably not the most authoritative person for something like this. Um, People may even say you don't have kids, so what the hell do you know? Things like that. Um, but I understand people and human condition, things like that. Um, what gentle parenting is trying to do, and this is why it fails. I'll say that there's some that will get it, but by and large, you have more than 98% of, I'll say the 10 years old and under category that just don't understand what you're trying to do because you're trying to take an adult mind, an adult mindset, and an adult way of thinking and push it onto a child and expect that they're going to know what you're talking about. And they're not. They're not. Um, So I'm pretty sure some of you have seen this. It's pretty typical. Kids having a temper tantrum, and if you've ever been someone that has had or been in a situation to where you're just upset, trying to calmly and logically talk to someone when they are upset is not a good thing. It's not going to be conducive to anything until they themselves calm down. Egging it on, which I do think the mother does do, is why this kid keeps escalating because she basically goes into full on, you need to just do what I want you to do.
Hands are not for hitting.
Now, I understand what you're trying to do with this. You're trying to tell the kid that you don't hit someone to get your way. But again, the child is not in the right state of mind to receive this information. You need to be an authoritative person and be authoritative, not a friend. You are not your child's friend, period. You are an authoritative person. And you need to kind of let that be known that I am the authoritative person. This is what goes. You are my child, so you will do what I ask you to do, and there is no other way around it. It's a respect, and it's a fear of respect. Like, and I don't mean like, oh my gosh, I should be afraid. That no, it's yeah. That's just how that has to go.
When you're ready to use your inside voice, you can talk to me. Laura Lane. Hey.
Now at that point, you should know you are trying to again think that you have this magic word that you are going to say to this kid, and it's just going to go, oh, I'm being a little shit. I should stop what I'm doing. But that's not what happens.
Can you use your inside voice?
No!
We don't need to yell. Hey, no. Hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you just caught a chair to the head. Because she just basically said, bitch, I am not listening. And that should put something in your head that says what I'm trying to do is not going to work with a child of this age. Because they don't understand that. They don't have that concept. And I'll show you that here in a minute.
Hands are not for hitting. We don't throw stuff. Well, we can go inside when you're ready to be nice. Hands are not for hitting.
Oh yeah?
I
Oh
don't
look, I'm
like
hitting
that.
you,
That
bitch.
hurts.
What?
You need to keep.
Did you hear that? I don't like that. Years ago, one of the last times I ever went into a Best Buy. I don't know how I got onto the topic with one of the ladies that works there, but she said that they don't use the word no anymore at school. I go, what do you mean? They go, it's too negative. And I'm going, that's its purpose. She goes, no, we don't do that. We say I don't like that, and I'm going, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. She goes, even my dogs are afraid of that. I'll tell them no, and they will do it, but I'll say I don't like that. And I'm going, I'm pretty sure it's your tone of voice. Because if you were to say no in the same tone of voice, if you say I don't like that, your dogs would pay attention. Because dogs I don't like that. Dogs don't know what the hell that means. They don't know what that means. They don't. But I had the thought of, you mean to tell me if a ball is going into a street and you live in a neighborhood where occasionally people will just go 90 down the damn street, and you hear that vroom, vroom coming from down the street, and the ball goes bouncing out into the street, you're going to start screaming, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. No, you don't have enough time for that. You just scream no, one syllable. I don't like that. 4. You could yell no 4 times before you finish your one dumbass sentence. It's stupid. Corporal punishment to a child is not abuse unless it goes too far. When I was growing up, there was a friend of mine who his dad sometimes went a little too far. And there was a couple times that I noticed he had welts up the middle of his back for where the belt hit him and went too high. And we were concerned for him because we had never seen, someone get to that level of punishment. You always hear about being swat with a belt or a spoon or a hand or whatever, or a switch if you're from the South. And it was like, okay, that was on borderline abuse. It could have been just one solitary hit that went too high. I can vaguely remember it in my mind right now, but I do remember that situation pretty well. And there were times where it was just, you remember that I leave bruises, right? Are you sure you want to do this? And that's establishing authority. That's establishing a boundary. This is not boundary setting at all. There's no boundary to this. You're trying to establish one where one doesn't exist. The child ignores everything you say and everything you do and thinks that it's going to get its way. Because if you remember, when a child is young, it has no way to communicate what's going on with it. It just cries. And it does that so you come to it and then start running through a checklist of what you could do to make this child comfortable again, because it's uncomfortable. Now, when you're an adult and you're uncomfortable, you don't necessarily just start crying. You make adjustments, you move things around, but you've learned that uncomfortable isn't as serious when you're an infant. But if you're only a child, and I'm guessing this child's maybe about 3 or 4, you can see she's still got a diaper, so I think that's between 2 and 5. The kid's somewhere in there, not older than 5. So this child goes back to what it remembers and how it had things done before was, if I cry, I can then have attention brought to me, and then that uncomfortableness that I feel is being brought out, and then it's going to be solved. Well, that's what this kid's doing, is it's reverting back to being an infant and just kind of going, let's elevate this crying to another level, so that way I can say, hey, this is where I am uncomfortable. This is what I want. Whether it's I just peed, or I just pooped, or I'm hungry, or I need to burp, or had a nightmare, which I always kind of wondered what nightmares a baby would have. Like I don't know. But this child's not going to respond to whatever the hell you're trying to do, and you need to do something else. Right now, you're being a worthless, lazy parent. I said it.
Keep your hands to yourself and be nice. No, we are in timeout until you're ready to be nice. Are you ready to be nice? No. Okay, well then we're going to stay out here until you're ready.
Yeah, no, your little thumbs up. I'm doing good. No, you're not. You're saying it's in timeout. I get it. You're trying to put some type of discipline into the kid. This is not how you're going to go about doing it and doing it successfully. This child is just going to sit there and throw a temper tantrum because eventually things will go normal. Now, imagine that mindset on someone who can drive a car. I just throw a fit. I yell and I scream until I get what I want. Where is she? Come on. Girl screams about seat belt and not getting a ticket. There's okay. So, oh, is that someone else talking over it? Oh, I don't want that, but all right. We'll see if
Guys,
this is...
tell me how we all just know this is a liberal woman.
To follow every fucking law, but that fucking faggot can leave the fucking scene without a turn signal. Give him a ticket!
Do you need an ambulance?
He doesn't have a turn signal. Give him a ticket!
You need to go to the...
Let him fucking get a ticket! He can do whatever he wants! Fucking come on!
It's not gonna happen. Anything else we can help you with tonight?
Yeah, giving him a ticket!
All right, it's not gonna happen.
What the f does he get to do?
I hope it gets...
He wants for?
I hope it gets to the point to where you could see her like physically just breaking down. Cause I saw this whole thing on one of the mini cop shows that I watch. But
I just want to know, are you okay?
You dumbass!
notice her windshield wipers are going.
Why the f doesn't he get a ticket?
Here it is.
Man,
Look.
I can help you talk to someone.
Look.
He didn't use his turn signal!
I bet you weren't expecting.
So, what that little girl was just doing is what that turns into. You have to establish some sense of a boundary because you're basically saying you could yell and scream all you want. I mean, because eventually the parents do break. That's just what gentle parenting does. And this is why it doesn't work. And I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to do a piece at a time so that way I don't get like any monetization bullshit or whatever. But this is why it doesn't work. I don't know why that's...
Can you tell me what you see when you look at that from where you're sitting? What are some of the things that you see?
And a cat,
A cat.
and a tree, and a bone.
Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. Can you tell me what you see when you look at it from that stool?
An owl,
An owl.
and him.
What is that?
A goat.
A goat.
Yeah,
Okay, is there anything else you see?
yeah, right there.
Right there, what is that?
A tree,
A tree.
and
So what they're doing is they're giving like perspective. They're saying, okay, this is what the child sees. Looking at it from both sides. This is what the child sees here. This is what the child sees there.
that's another little tree.
Another little tree. Right. And can you tell me what I see when I look at this from where I'm sitting right here?
Now, that question's important because she's basically saying, you've been over here. You saw this, but he didn't put it into his head. That is still there because he can't see it. It's hidden behind that big old volcano. This is what I mean by kids don't understand perspective yet. They just don't get it. And this kid is about the same age as the girl that was freaking out.
Owl
Okay.
and a goat
Mm-hmm.
and a little tree and that and that.
So there you go. The kid sits there and says, what you see is what I see. Because I don't recall what was over there. I can only tell you what I see. So when you have that kind of mentality to understand kids of a younger age, and again, they're about the same age, the screamy girl and the kid trying to do the experiment, they're about the same age. And they just don't get it, which is why gentle parenting just does not work. It doesn't. They are not fully developed enough to understand that. Just like they don't understand, if I slap you, all that hurts is my hand. But if you slap me, my everything hurts. They don't understand, if I slap you, something on you hurts. They don't understand that yet, especially at that age. 6, 7, yeah, they probably understand, oh, I'm going to get mollywopped too. But it always infuriates me when people don't seem to understand that kids cannot grasp the same thing that they do. When you have a child that is, let's say they do understand someone else's perspective now, okay? If you ask them how you do your job, they're not gonna know. You ask a 10-year-old what you do for work, they're not gonna know. You ask a 10-year-old how do taxes work, they're not gonna know. It's the same thing. You cannot take what's in your head and download it into a child's head. There's levels to learning. There's different types of checkpoints. Sure, there are some kids that are a lot more gifted and just absorb things and off they go. But by and large, you cannot have a situation where you start telling a kid, this is what it is. That kid's gonna go, I don't know what you're talking about. Hungry. You know, it's no different than whenever you're teaching them how to talk to begin with. You'll have a kid say, me hungry. And the parent's like, no, I am hungry. And they're going, I'm not asking about you. I'm asking about me hungry. So you can't even really establish that yet because they don't understand me and I yet. They don't understand proper pronunciations and shit. They just don't. You have other parents that do the far extreme from what that lady did, to where she was just sort of, I'm going to be over here and I'm just going to do whatever. And then when the child does something, I'm going to lose my mind, scream at the kid, beat the living hell out of him, and now the child is fearful as hell. That's wrong as well. Just screaming at them doesn't get them to stop. Doesn't get them to just go, oh, mom screamed, I'll be fine now. That's not how their brains work. They are not at that level yet. Yes, they are little humans, but they are little humans. So in that same context, you have little humans. They also have little understandings about a little bit of emotions. So they might understand scared. They're going to understand hot and cold. They're going to understand hungry. They're going to understand tired. And they're going to understand hurt. That's about it. That's about all the more emotions. They're not going to have, I'm content. Oh, and happy. They'll know happy. Happy, sad, hungry, mad. That's about it. And then as they grow older, happy becomes content. Comfortable. Shit like that. Sad becomes depressed. Reserved, quiet, thinking, internalizing, or just plain old sad. Mad, angry, irate, furious, bewildered, hungry, famished, starved, peckish. I could eat. They don't understand the complexity of it. The best way to figure out where a child is whenever they start saying I'm happy, or they stop saying I'm happy and they go I'm good. So they've evolved their level of understandings of emotions and types of understanding of the complexities of everything. It's no longer just a 3 or 4 color palette. It's shades of things. And as long as they understand just a 3 or 4 color palette, they're not going to understand complex things like make better choices. I've seen shit like that too. Make better choices. He has no idea what you're saying. Kid standing in a bucket pissing off his sister. Dylan, let's make better choices. Little sister just screaming, Dylan, let's make better choices. Kid's like, I don't know. Dylan, get out of the bucket. Now he gets out of the bucket. I mean, do you have to have more more of a realistic situation and resolution than that? Make better choices. Make better choices. They don't understand that. Okay, they don't. I get that there's this really, really thin, like hairline thin line that we've created between punish your kid and abuse. And there are many that are kind of on the fence of, well, if you hit him, that's abuse. No, it's not. It's not. It's conditioning. Someone with authority tells you to stop, you stop. It's probably the reason why I'm addicted to watching so many cop shows. I'm going, that's someone who wasn't brought up right. They were just left to their own devices, or give him a ticket. I mean, if you get a chance to watch the one, oh my God, do it. It is so great. But then you have things like this here. Let's see.
No. No.
See, this is proper. This is how you properly do this. Kid does something, you tell him no. He does it again, you tell him no. You be a little bit more firm. And then, fuck that thing. That's how you got to do it. You're trying to put something into them and it doesn't work. You're trying to sit there and she's using the word no. So automatically, kudos for using that word. I get so sick of that. I don't like that. I'm sorry, but if you do shit like that, you're a bad parent. I said it.
Close it. Hey.
So right there, defiance. Close the door. No. Grab her by the back of her pajamas, pull her out of the fridge. It's the fridge. The fridge doesn't need to be open for that long. How many times when we were kids did we watch things about know what you're trying to get out of the fridge before you go in there, because it's wasting electricity and it's being wasteful and it's putting more stuff in there and the fridge does this. And for starters, I'd be like, move. It's not even an argument. It's not even a line of questioning. It's not even a suggestion. It's not even a plea. It's you will be moved. This one should never happen to begin with.
Get out of the fridge. Come on. Yes. Come on.
Get the fuck out of the freezer.
Theo.
See? That's all. I don't want to be the one that my kids don't like. Well, you're going to be the one that your kids don't respect. It seems like the dad was like, get the fuck out of the freezer, was a bad thing. But it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't a bad thing. That kid defied you 3 times. How many other relationships were you in where you asked someone to do something, they defied you? How many times did you stick around? Why is it so different for your kid? Teach them to be better people. This is the one I was talking about.
Get out. Theodore, get out of the bucket.
Oh, no, it's not.
Please get out the Please get out the cabinet. Get your motherfucking ass out the cabinet. Cross, get down. Do not touch. No, no. Cross, get your ass down now.
Put it back. Leave it alone. Kaden. Leave it alone!
Can you please put my purse back? Put the purse back, honey.
Now threaten her and see what happens.
Put the purse back now!
See? The dude was right there. Now threaten her and see what happens. Like, you can ask. That's fine. That's fine. Be like, I don't, that what you're doing is not good. You need to stop. Stop now. Because you go from, let's describe this whole situation and please put my purse back, to put my purse back, to put it back. And it could be, because there's no fear yet. To elicit a change in someone, there has to be some kind of fear, especially for children, because they, as far as they know, there's no boundaries. It's like when you take them out shopping and they're all yelling and screaming because that's what they do at home. You're like, oh, you guys, we don't do that. They have no idea. That's what you always have them do. So they act like they always do. So if your kids are the ones that are yelling and screaming in public, bad parents. I said it. I don't care. You cannot tell me that you're a good parent and your kids go out and they're picking up grapefruits and just throwing them around, grabbing the onions and throwing them, picking up a carrot and eating it, starting to take the grapes and just throwing them any which way they want. You're a bad parent, and that's a terrible kid. You need parenting classes, and you need to understand that what you're doing isn't working and will never work. And you've already set way too many ground rules of, I'm going to ask you nicely. No. Whoop some ass. I'm sorry. When your kid is in defiance of you being an authoritative figure and you're telling them, do not do this, and they basically go, you're going to still be, you're not going to be like, oh, you what? Okay. Okay. Put that middle finger up. No. Go ahead. Put it up. I give you permission. Put it up. Because I want you to see what's going to happen when you do it. Because this is your last chance, so you better make it count. Put it back up. Whop! And hell, half the time, these small ones are wearing a diaper. It's more of just, of a shock than pain. Whoop that diaper. And I get it. I don't have kids. So I can't know. But yes, I can. I understand the human condition. I understand how people work. I understand how people think and operate. And I'm telling you now, if you have someone who has small children and this is, you can't reason with them like that. You could be like, what did I say? Or here's another thing. And I remember this when I was a kid. You give the countdown. 3, 2, 1. You have to go to 0 and you have to follow through. You can't go 1 and then be like, 3/4, 1/2, 1/4, 1/5. The kid's just going to go, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? There has to be that kind of shock to the system that tells them your attitude with this and my response will elicit a response later and an attitude adjustment later. That's just how that goes. It's not bad to beat your kids. It is bad to abuse them and to go too far with it and to hit with a lot of emotion. Like there was one, I don't know if I can find it. but there was one where beautiful woman sitting there holding a kid and he smacks her in the face. She's like, she knew he didn't really mean to, and he didn't follow up with another hit or bring his hand back, but she wanted to slap him because he just slapped her. But she caught herself and checked herself. That's a good parenting situation. Wish I could find that. Let's see. Mom almost smacks kid who hits her. No. Kid slaps mom in restaurant. There it is.
Meh.
So that's what I mean by it. She goes, "Oh, you." He was just kind of playing around, swung his hand. His hand hit her hand into her face, and she wanted to slap him back, but she's just, don't do it again. Now, the lady filming it laughing doesn't help, because now that kid's going to think, oh, this gave me a positive, good feeling. I'm going to do it again. And he may very well have been like, whapa! And mom went, whapa! And the kid just went backwards. But I don't know. That's my thoughts on this. You wanna go off on me? Go off of me in the comments. You wanna say what you want to say in the comments? Feel free. But yeah, this has been sitting with me for a little bit, and I have seen some extreme situations. I'll never forget a couple of them. I was driving by Quick Trip, and a mom got out of the car from the passenger seat, went around, or no, from the driver's seat, went around to the opposite side, opened up the back door, and all I saw was an arm come out, an arm go in, an arm come out, an arm go in. And I will tell you this, I don't remember seeing anybody else in the car. And what I mean by that is there was no one that I saw from shoulder up. So there was no adult back there. There was no teenager back there. And that arm came out and went into the back of that car, I'd say about half a dozen times before I drove out of sight. And I'm going, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. Unless that kid was like trying to light the car on fire or do something destructive towards someone else, or had, I don't know, grabbed something and poked his sister in the eyeball or something and had the eyeball on the end of it. I don't know. I can't think of many things that would cause me to have that kind of a reaction to someone who can't see out the back window. But I don't know. Again, let me know your thoughts. Yeah. Take care.